what questions are answerable using this data set. Propose some questions, okay, on this data set. So let's try that first, and then we try the unusual questions next. Copy, paste, go back to ChatGPT and yeah, paste it. Okay, so some questions, okay? What questions can be answered? So what's the average rent in different cities? So rental price analysis, property features and pricing, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, furnished or unfurnished. Okay, city and neighborhood comparisons. If you scroll down a little bit, and you can see, could be a lot of, interesting questions that comes to your mind, but remember, it's like, not every question comes to your mind easily. But here, ChatGPT is helping you what questions can be asked. Okay, so it's a really nice things, and maybe you just focus one or two things in this list, okay? Because it will be a large study if you try to do everything. Okay, city, and maybe you focus city and neighborhood comparisons. Maybe you focus on market trends. You focus on rental price analysis. So now that these are kind of usual questions, maybe, and then we focus on one or two things, say total cost of renting and market trends and outlier detection, two things. Okay, we focus. And then, focus on these, questions, and yeah, get some answers in our investigation. Now going back to brainstorming part and say, yeah, those things are kind of expected questions, but what about unusual, like more creative questions? Okay, so it's could be a good idea you ask that question. What unusual questions can you come up with this in this data set? Okay, so try that. And as you can see, psychological and behavioral insights. Wow. Pet-friendly rentals, floor number preference. So you don't like 13, number 13. Space efficiency and unusual patterns, smallest and largest apartments. Okay. Completely unaffordable to middle class renter. Yeah, it's 13, the floor number. You see, it's, yeah, this is 13. So how do you, you can never, get that question if you didn't ask. So you never think about that kind of questions, or you could do that like with brainstorming. Maybe somebody comes up with this type of question with this type of focus in a brainstorming session. But as you can see, ChatGPT is doing it, at least gives you a starter. Now, looking at those questions, and we have this set and we have the previous set. So two sets, normal kind of questions, and then the second set is kind of unusual psychological questions. So we have those two sets. So I believe that's a really good start. Okay. Maybe another thing is, yeah, say we have this consultation company and we're gonna do this analysis without any client, but I was thinking like when we finish this report, I will be able to sell it in multiple parties. So I was thinking, what multiple parties, what are the stakeholders, or who can benefit from my analysis? So maybe that could be, useful before you do any kind of analysis. So it's kind of who will be the audience for your analysis. Um, the next thing is kind of looking, yeah, just copy and then say, yeah, let's try that. Okay, paste. Yeah, you can call them stakeholders. And so one of them is renters and tenants. So your analysis could focus on something useful for these people, for these stakeholders. And maybe you focus on something for real estate investors, something you focus on real estate agents, something you do for urban planners and government agencies, or maybe just the research purposes. As you can see, these are the parties that could be interested in your research or investigation. Well, in the refining stage, I was thinking, okay, so we focus one of these things, one of these, okay, questions or or parties to satisfy one or two parties, or to get answers to one or two questions in here. But let's like wrap it up. Okay, we need to state, okay, state exactly what we're trying to do here. So state the goal, and after that, maybe you state the objectives, and this way everything will be more clear. And in a, we're assuming there will be a final documentation, final business document, final business report. And to write that report, basically you start with some kind of introduction and state the purpose, state the goal, okay, of this analysis, and maybe some specific objectives. So far what we're kind of doing, a lot of I kind of investigating what's out there. Now it's time to wrap it up and state this as a research goal, investigation goal. For example, I just scrolling up and just try to pick up what could be my focus. um, what could be my focus. I can pick up one of these things, but say maybe ChatGPT comes up with a summary. What are the possibilities? What's out there in terms of typical goals? So typical goals in analyzing a rental property data set is like market trends and pricing, rental affordability and cost, property features and preferences. So these are like typical investigation points. So as like purpose of your study, purpose of my study could be number one and number two, for example. Just focus on these two things, okay, or just focus on one thing. And then as you can see, there are like sub areas, more specific. I think these specific things kind of objectives to get the goal, to achieve the goal. Those bullet points is kind of specific objectives. But you can still, you know, tell the computer, yeah, state in a sentence, okay, the objectives of my study when my goal is market, trade, and pricing insights. So state the objectives, or just the goal in a full sentence. Yes, we're now deciding. We focus on number one, market trends and pricing. And yeah, I need a full sentence statement. Okay. Now I see that some of these, they some of the elements in that paragraph, I see that like objectives. But again, general goal is providing insights for renters, landlords, and investors. Okay, so that's why we do this analysis. But I still like to see kind of a statement, one more statement for specific objectives. Okay, so you can, just type, maybe I just copy um, from here to ChatGPT, copy, now paste. That's the goal. Goal is market trends and pricing inside, copy, and but it's gonna be objectives now. Okay, so the objectives are there, but I want this in a statement. Goal, yeah, objectives, specific objectives. All right, looks good to me. Go specific objectives in achieving the goal of market trends and pricing and such in a full sentence. Yes, that's good. All right. So now we have a statement. Okay. So this is useful, stating this right in the beginning before you do anything. So now that we have a goal, we have specific objectives in our study. So now we are clear on this. We have, yes, we have an objective, we have goal, we have a business problem identified, specific purpose, specific goal, and specific objectives clearly defined. So I think that's the end of this section. It is like everything is, we learned a lot of things about real estate, a lot of things, the background, what are the, all possibilities, what are the combinations, what are the areas for investigation. So we, questions and answers and questions and answers. So we, you know, those answers led to other questions and then questions and then answers and so on in an kind of iterative session. We finally refined our business problem identification. I think this is it for this part. I believe my next video is about working with this data set and basically understanding what to do with the data set for the purpose, for that purpose. So what is possible, what could be the model, what could be the data cleaning task, preparation things. So all that details, and ChatGPT will help us to write the code. And at one point, maybe we don't need a code, any coding. ChatGPT will take care of all that. So I'll see you in my next video, and we're gonna work on the data set, real estate data set.